Well, it was the spring of 1920. Delaware was abuzz because a great civil debate that has rolled the nation for decades was reaching a crescendo. The state legislature would soon vote on whether to approve the 19th Amendment. Should women have the right to vote?
It's a Throwback Thursday, and we're also celebrating Women's History Month. So Jim Duffy is here with Secrets of the Eastern Shore. He's here to introduce us to a pair of smart and capable civic leaders who played a key role in that debate. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about these interesting ladies.
All right, so Emily Bissell had this long list of civic accomplishments. She started the first free kindergarten in Delaware. She fought for child labor regulations. She founded this thing called the West End Community Association to help immigrants learn the language and find jobs. That thing is still going today with a broader mission up in Newcastle County. She also started the Easter seals. The Christmas seals. So It was the first Christmas seals in the country, and it's what led up to the Christmas seals today that raises like $1 gazillion for the American Lung Association. So she did lots of great things, and so did a cohort of hers named Mary Thompson. They together founded the American Red Cross chapter in Delaware. Mary Thompson got involved in this kind of do-gooder life when a railroad went through her neighborhood and just kind of wrecked a pond that kids used to skate and play on. So she founded a athletic club to give them a play environment. And she did things in Rehoboth Beach. She beautified Rehoboth Avenue for the first time with plantings and all that stuff. Bottom line, I could go on and on about all the things they accomplished. But the bottom line is these are smart, capable, caring women. Any community, then or now, would be blessed to have them be a part of the community, right?
Right.
Sure.
So what did they have, or what role did they play in women's suffrage?
They fought tooth and nail against giving women the right to vote.
Really?
Against.
Yes, they were the leaders of the campaign, and to make matters worse, they won the debate because Delaware rejected the 19th Amendment. I think it was in August of 1920. And when I first learned about their background and this issue, I was trying to think, what could they possibly be thinking, right? And the only things that came into my mind were insults. They were dumb, or they were brainwashed by their husbands, or a patriarchal society. But none of that can be true because of all the other things that they did to show. So there's this thing, I was kind of falling victim to this thing historians call presentism, which is looking at the people of the past through the values and standards that we have today. This debate's already settled. Nobody thinks women shouldn't have the right to vote. And all I could come up with was they must have been dumb. So I decided to combat my own tendency towards presentism by digging a little deeper into what they thought. So here's their best argument. Think about it like we treat churches today. They get a special nonprofit status. There's some expectations that come with that. They can't endorse political candidates, they can't raise money for nakedly partisan causes, and they don't get into that down and dirty stuff of politics. They're above that. They're coming from a place of faith. So Bissell and Thompson regarded everything they accomplished in life as happening because they didn't have the right to vote. Because women had that kind of status back then. They weren't involved in the backroom stuff of politics. They were coming, like churches come from a place of faith, they were coming from kind of a maternal instinct to care for everybody in the community. And if you gave women the right to vote, they would come down in status, not go up in status. They would become just another player in the cigar-filled back rooms, just another rich company owner who's haggling over votes and donations and all this stuff, and they'd lose that special status and they wouldn't be able to get as much done. Did they convince you?
No.
No, me neither. No, me neither. But it's a better argument than you expected, right? Or at least a very different argument than you expected when you get through there.
Sure.
I was kind of excited about this as an example of presentism when I got into it. But as I dug deeper, they, like all of us, they weren't perfect either. They kind of dismissed some of their opponents as kind of hippie, floozy types and all that kind of stuff. And they had some bad and probably racist things to say about uneducated black women and whether they should be able to vote and that kind of stuff. But to be fair, the other side insulted them too, calling them dim-witted society ladies. And it turned into this big fight. And as I thought about that, I kind of laughed because it sort of demonstrated their point. They had this elevated status, they get dragged into this political debate, and all of a sudden everybody's slinging mud at each other and everything like that. So they didn't convince me, but I am grateful that I spent time on this story because, you know, you see somebody who has an opinion that you think is completely nuts about some issue or another, and you think, oh my God, what an idiot. And I'm grateful that Emily Bissell and Mary Thompson can come to mind to remind me that I don't really have a clue about who those people are, what they've accomplished in life, how they treat their neighbors, all that kind of stuff. So that outrage that's kind of fun to feel, you know, and then you like let it out, and they help me calm down.
Good. Good. Jim Duffy of Secrets of the Eastern Shore, thank you so much.
Have a great evening.
Stay calm.